Good afternoon, Belize. It's midday and you're tuned into the news at noon, where we bring you the latest updates from around the country. I'm Isani Cayetano and here's what's making headlines today. An errand in Bella Vista turns tragic. 2 sisters drowned in a water-filled pit. Home Affairs Minister pushes to toughen Constitution with 13th Amendment. Belize Bus Association calls out Minister Zabane over advisory snub. And AI or artistry, Belize's Miss Universe costume contest ignites online buzz. These stories and more are coming up in just 1 minute.
Every night, I bring you the stories that matter, delivering the facts with professionalism and heart. As an anchor, my goal is to keep you informed, connected, and engaged with the world around us. But the news isn't just about the headlines. I'm Sabrina Daly, and each week we look on the bright side with stories that inspire, uplift, and celebrate the strength of our community. Join me every night as we uncover stories that inform, inspire, and connect us. I am News 5.
Welcome back. It's a story that has shaken the quiet village of Bella Vista in the Toledo district. Around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, 2 young sisters, 7-year-old Angie Pimentel and 8-year-old Laurie Pimentel, tragically drowned in an unfinished septic pit. Their mother, Delmi Argueta, had sent them on a simple errand to their grandmother's house. But somewhere along the way, something went terribly wrong. Delmi believed the girls may have entered the water-filled pit to swim, not realizing the danger. When their grandmother noticed their bikes hidden and found a slipper near the pit, panic set in. Delmi rushed to the scene and jumped in, hoping to save her daughters. The pit, estimated to be about 8 feet deep, was completely submerged. She managed to pull one of them out, but it was too late. We'll have more on this heartbreaking story in our evening newscast. Since independence, Belize's constitution has included laws that give the government power to declare a state of emergency. But fast forward a decade, and with the rise of gangs and gun violence, lawmakers saw the need to go further. That's when new legislation came into play, one that allowed the government to declare specific special areas to tackle crime more directly. Now, Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa is pushing for the 13th Amendment. What's the goal? According to him, it's about bringing those 2 laws together, merging the old with the new to create a stronger, more unified legal tool to fight against crime. In his words, it's about giving the Constitution more teeth when it comes to public safety.
So since 2018 to present, both governments, successive governments, have been utilizing the state of emergency as a life-saving tool, because essentially that is what it has become. When crime and violence among feuding gangs becomes so intense that there is constant retaliation among these groups, and that oftentimes leads to the loss of innocent lives in Belize, not just gang members, because there is this school of thought that says let gang members kill themselves out.
But you have collateral damage.
There is collateral damage, and just in this year alone, think of Mr. Avelar, who died right here on Coney Drive outside your news station.
Yep.
Think of the young man Orozco on Ebony Street who was just taking his child to school.
Yep.
Innocent lives, you know. Think of Miss Jones and her handicapped son. Those are 4 lives lost in just this year as, like you described, collateral damage. So the question is, what do you do when you have this kind of escalation in violence that leads to, yes, the loss of gang member lives, but also the loss of law-abiding citizens' lives? That is why we're saying we need to have a legislation that can counter this, because, as you and I know, Isani and Sabrina, in the streets, there is a code. If I kill Isani, Isani's family will not say it's me, even if they witness it. They will take out the retaliation themselves. There is a street and a gang code that we have to recognize.
The wheels are turning, but not in the direction of the Belize Bus Association. In a fire press release, the BBA is calling the Transport Minister, Dr. Louis Zabane, out for what it describes as, quote, bad faith, a move that sidelines the association from the newly formed National Bus Company Pro Tem Advisory Committee. The BBA, which represents a significant chunk of Belize bus operators, says it was blindsided by the minister's decision to appoint, quote, a novice, minimally experienced non-BBA member, unquote, as the industry's voice on the committee. According to release, this appointment not only lacks transparency, but also feels like a strategic attempt to silence the BBA's influence. Quote, this is not merely poor professional judgment, it's bad faith and intentional, unquote, the release states, accusing the minister of undermining equity and genuine stakeholder participation. Voting is now open for the Miss Universe National Costume Design Competition, and Belizeans are being asked to choose the outfit that will represent the jewel on the global stage. The theme, our vibrant national bird, the toucan. But while the feathers may be flying in the designs, the real drama is unfolding online. The top 3 finalists were revealed on Miss Universe's official social media pages, and reactions have been anything but unanimous. Some fans are dazzled by the intricate details, others not so much. They're raising eyebrows and questions about whether these designs were truly handcrafted or simply spun out by artificial intelligence. Critics have taken to social media, pointing out telltale signs of AI-generated art in the images. And amid the controversy, we spoke with Monali Aspinall, a co-designer of a sketch that didn't make the final cut. Though disappointed, she shared her creative journey and the heart behind her design, offering a glimpse into the passion and process that goes into crafting a costume meant to represent an entire nation.
My first thought was, I don't want to do regular toucan where there's like that beak on that head that gives like children's costume. We're so tired of seeing that. So I wanted something where you would be able to incorporate the toucan within the body. My next thing was, I didn't want to do like over the shoulder or something that's also like done so regularly. So I wanted it where Bella is so tall and slim, you know. I wanted to be able to use that to our advantage. So using her arms to create the beak and her body to simulate the body. And I wanted to follow it as closely to what the toucan does as well. So the tail, the colors. I know that people love a like huge costume. And I love the idea of that as well. And I think that sometimes that large costume, we don't want it to overpower the toucan. I mean, that's the theme that they're going for. So we had to think about small things, like if we use the arms for beak, that means that certain parts of the body will have to be softer or easily moved. So we thought about like gymnastic costumes where there's that beading and bedazzlement in certain areas, but then there's still that flesh tone fabric under the arms that allows them to move.
In this week's Culture Tuesday, we're heading back to the heart of Toledo District, where farming isn't just about putting food on the table, it's a way of life. For generations, families in San Pedro, Colombia have worked the land using traditional methods passed down through time. But now a growing rodent problem is forcing them to rethink how they farm. Still, not everything is up for negotiation. Some cultural practices are so deeply rooted, they're simply non-negotiable. So how do these farmers balance tradition with the need to adapt? We went back to the village to find out how they're holding on to their heritage while facing modern-day challenges head-on.
before the planting, of course, the owner, he will need to go out there and find workers, most of the time family members. And of course, when everybody comes together and for him to give back that day, he will not pay him financially, but what he will do is give back that working day. So if he gets 5 people to plant, that means he owes 5 days work out there, 1 day per person. Yeah. And it could be not only planting, but maybe any other type of work that he has in the farm.
There's also an aspect of purity or keeping oneself clean, if you would. Can you just explain briefly what that is?
Yeah, so of course what we do is we ask the planters, of course the planters must go with must make sure they're pure. And for them to be pure, we ask them not to sleep with their women the night before of the planting. And whoever cheats, we will know. I mean, you will see the results in the cornfield.
That's a wrap for the news at noon. But don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit GreaterBelize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.